Hey guys,
Hey,
happy
Hey,
Wednesday.
it is Wednesday.
I wasn't kidding when I said heaven help us when you said when I said I was going to drive. Screwed up the open.
It's all
it
good.
happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
All
yeah,
good here. Sorry.
yeah. How you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm playing
Doing
Brandy.
all right.
And as Krista said, Brandy's not here tonight. She had
Mhm,
to take care of her mom, so
mhm.
Krista is graciously filling in, and she was on the Waking Up Weird this morning. So
Yeah,
bookend your day with me and Krista.
right.
Yeah,
That's it.
awesome.
Begin and end. That's it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh man, what a day! What a
I
day!
know, right?
Where you at, Krista? You're in a different spot.
I am. So my husband's back is out, and he is in the recliner in the living room where the TV is going. So I am in my room, and I made a makeshift thingamajobby. He didn't have to try to because he can't do the bed at all. So yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, he
Gotcha.
can't do that at all. So anyway, he's yeah in the living room with his TV going.
Good. Well, hopefully his back is better.
And Randy is out. He's at a concert. I think it's. He said it was Tom Jones. I think it was the guy from The Fugitive, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I didn't even know that guy sings.
I didn't either. I mean,
I,
I can't
it's
imagine.
not
I can't
Tom Jones.
imagine that
It seems
he's.
like
Huh?
not the old Tom Jones.
I mean,
The
Donnie and
guy
I
from The
both think it's.
Fugitive is the only
Yeah.
Tom Jones I know.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
No, there's a
That's
singer.
Tommy
Tom
Lee
Jones.
Jones, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Tommy Lee Jones. I'm telling you, Tom Jones is the old singer, and I think he sings like Sweet Caroline or something.
Oh,
That's why when Brandy told me that Brandy was going to be out, I laughed really loud.
no, I thought you were serious, Paul, when you were like the guy from The Fugitive. I was like, that guy sings? What does he sing? Does
No,
he sing
not
like
him. That's
bluegrass or
Tommy
something?
Lee Jones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Hold on, I'm googling because we got to know this. We gotta know
We were
this.
both giving Randy trouble that I didn't think Tommy Lee Jones sang.
Is that
No.
why Randy was so upset when we were asking him about his concert plans?
Yeah, this is him, Tom
Yeah,
Jones.
he said he doesn't want to talk to us anymore.
Tom Jones, right there.
Oh, that's not the guy from The Fugitive.
That's
No,
not.
it's not, and he's 84 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's not the ones that we thought that y'all were thinking. That's for sure. That's hilarious.
So Randy, when you go back to watch this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It was funny though.
Yeah, because when Brandy told me, I laughed out loud. Literally, like she told me, she's like, we're down Randy tonight, and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. So, yeah,
So Tom Jones, he's 84, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Are the Stones going to open for him, or
I don't
keep it the
know.
same age group?
That I don't know. I can't answer that.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Damn, 84 and still doing concerts. Wow.
Good for him.
Jeez.
Willie Nelson's is too, and he's like close to 90 or something, isn't he?
I think he's very well preserved though right now. There's so many chemicals inside that guy that I think he's good for another 100 years.
Probably is. That's probably what's keeping him alive.
Yeah.
Mm.
I saw I think Sammy Hagar and Bill Clinton are about the same age.
Yeah.
And I saw a picture of them. This was a couple years ago, side by side pictures. And Sammy this was like 10 years ago or something.
Mhm.
Sammy looks great for that, whatever age he was then. But Bill, he looked a mess.
Yeah. And Sammy Hagar still looks good, and he's
Yeah.
pretty old too.
Yeah.
And he can. I mean, it's been a long time since I seen him in concert, but man, he rocks the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mickey G says Stevie Nicks is in her 70s and still on tour.
That's awesome.
Wow. Who's Stevie Nicks?
She's the
You're not really serious, are you?
I'm serious. I don't know who that is.
Really?
Really?
Fleetwood Mac?
I know BTS. I know Blackpink. I know K-pop.
No, she
So
doesn't fall into any of those.
no, she's Fleetwood Mac.
I've heard the name.
Okay. So
Donnie!
Fleetwood Mac, she's
Country?
one of the lead.
No.
Classic rock.
Oh,
She's one of the lead singers, and it's really it's really weird. Her name is Stevie Nicks. She was married to what's his name?
oh, Stevie Nicks is a girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
Stevie Nicks.
Oh, I
is a
thought it was
girl,
a dude.
and she was
No.
married to Lindsey Buckingham, who was a dude, and was
Yes.
the lead singer.
Yeah.
And she would write songs about their breakup and how horrible he was to her, and make him sing it. And I mean, they were huge hits.
Yeah.
What was their one that they had
Gypsy?
more than one Gypsy?
Yeah.
Is that the album?
That I don't know. I can sing it. If you don't want me to hear me sing it, but
Okay,
like, yeah.
go ahead if you want to sing
No.
it. But the one album had like a ton
Mhm.
of hits on it, and
Yeah.
it was basically their breakup songs that she would write, and
Yeah.
he would have to sing them. I mean,
Yeah, like JoJo said here, Lindsay would do the same.
go your own
Go
way.
your own way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
it was Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, Mick Fleetwood, and what was the other gal's
Yeah.
name? Christy
not that one.
McVie.
Yeah, Christy McVie.
Rumors.
Rumors.
Thank you, Be Kind.
Yep.
Rumors.
Yep.
It was Rumors.
Hmm.
That is a
Donnie,
great
we got to
album.
do a show with you on old classic rock. Yeah, get you
Certain things I'm very culturally ignorant on. You know, people say I live in my own little bubble, and you know what?
I guarantee
They're
you,
not
though,
wrong.
if you heard any of those songs, you would recognize them.
Mhm.
Probably, if they were ever like featured in like a soundtrack or an ad, I'd probably recognize the tunes.
Well, yeah,
I don't know if
I
they were in a soundtrack.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. But I guarantee you probably would. You would. You've heard them.
Yeah. Dolly Parton, close to 80. Holy cow.
Yeah, and she is awesome. Dolly is.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
The Eagles, Doors, ZZ Top, Skinnerd. Yeah.
You've heard of all those, though, right, Donnie?
I know ZZ Top because they're the guys with the beards.
Yep.
Leonard Skinner, I've heard of. A couple of the songs I actually like. You hear those a lot. And yeah, I know the Eagles.
Now, one of the guys on ZZ Top, his last name is Beard, but he doesn't have a beard.
The one guy in the group who doesn't have a beard is named Beard.
Mm-hmm. His last name is Beard, but he doesn't
Yeah.
have a beard.
Hmm.
This is interesting. CCR is the best. Do you know what CCR stands for?
No.
Creedence
Clearwater Revival. Yep.
Oh,
You've probably never heard of them either, have you?
that name doesn't ring a bell.
BTO and ELO.
Yep.
Bachman Turner Overdrive, Electric Light Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
How old are
I
you?
really like Shock, Donnie.
That's not the kind of music I grew up on, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Born on the Bayou. Oh, man.
That's a good one.
Ever seen Forrest Gump? You've seen Forrest Gump.
I've seen Forrest Gump. Yeah, I recognize that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supertramp, Pink Floyd. Oh, wow.
Foreigner Sticks. Oh yeah.
Let's talk about music all night.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Joplin, Hendrix.
Yeah.
Anyway, any artists come from Alaska?
You know, I really don't know.
Jewel.
Really?
You know what? I
Jewel
think you're
from
right.
Alaska.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yep, I think you are right on that.
She has an amazing voice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I like her.
I don't know many of her songs. But
She's
she
literally the only celebrity I know who is from Alaska. I literally know no one else.
Yeah, I don't either.
There's not many people from Alaska.
Nope,
All right.
really not.
Had to get my
Really
notes.
not. So, yeah.
Okay. AC/DC. Still talking about rock.
Yeah, Mickey's right here. Maybe we do. We need to have a master class to teach Donnie classic rock.
You know, in my opinion, that was the last great era of rock and roll
I agree.
music. I mean, the
Mhm.
stuff nowadays is auto tune, and I think it's just crap. But
Yeah. There's a lot of AI and stuff in a lot of the music, and you
Mhm.
know.
yeah, yeah. I was watching. There's a commercial or something that this guy wrote a love song all on AI, and
Wow.
he just put. I think it put a couple names in there, a couple things in there, and boom, it kicked out a
Yeah.
song. And somebody was telling me that somebody in Hollywood is making a movie completely with AI. I
Really?
guess he got agreements from actors to use their voice. And I do a thing called podcast AI. All of my shows I put on there and I send it out, and it
Hmm.
auto generates titles and all that stuff. And part of that program, you can it'll take your voice and add it to any podcast. I think it's just audio podcast, but it will write its own podcast and it will have your voice and it would just send it out as you. And it's not me at all. Well, it's my voice and everything.
Wow.
But I mean, I haven't done that. I probably won't do that. But that just
Yeah.
weird, weird all that technology stuff.
It is. It truly is.
But you know who didn't use AI?
Who?
Fleetwood Mac.
True. They didn't have AI.
No, no. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about the Alaskan Triangle, and I know a lot of you
Mhm.
know about the Bermuda Triangle down in
Hmm.
down by Florida down there. Um, this is kind of the same thing, but a lot lesser known. It's said since 1979, I believe, over 16,000 people have vanished without a trace in Alaska.
I believe
Um,
that.
Mhm.
and so there is a triangle. Where did the map go? Here it is. So up north, it starts in Barrow, Alaska, all the way down to
Oh.
Juneau, and then
Hmm.
over to Anchorage in the middle there. And that area is very well known for UFO sightings,
Hmm.
Bigfoot sightings, um, all kinds of nasty stuff. Portals opening up, vortexes opening up, and stuff like that. And it's just crazy out there.
Wow.
In any given year, between 500 and 2,000 people go missing
Hmm.
in Alaska.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with the vast wilderness there,
Hmm.
all kinds of
That's like 2 people a day,
yeah,
at
Yeah.
least.
yeah. And I mean, they have over 1,000 glaciers there, the highest peaks in the United States there,
Hmm.
all kinds of deep crevices that if people go hiking and they slip or fall or whatever, they can get trapped easily. An avalanche could cover them up and no one would find them.
Wow.
Um, Disappearances are blamed on everything from severe weather to aliens to swirling energy vortexes to Bigfoot to an evil shape-shifting demon
Hmm.
of an Indian Teclingit. I think that's the name in Indian lore called Kashtaka.
The Kustika. It's the
Kushtaka.
Kustika. Hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, so like I said before, there's many hidden caves, massive glaciers, deep crevices, where people can go missing in there.
Wow.
And actually, there's a lot of electronic readings in Alaska have found significant concentrations of magnetic anomalies
Wow.
where I can't even read my writing, which have been blamed to disrupt compasses by as much as 30 degrees. I mean, if you're following your compass and you're going 30 degrees off off route, you're going to be messed up.
Oh
You're
yeah.
going to get lost very, very easily.
Yeah.
So, one of the first big cases of missing people in Alaska was in 1972. I didn't get the date on this. Was
Mhm.
House Majority Leader Hale Boggs and Congressman Nick Begish disappeared while flying from Anchorage to Juneau.
Hmm.
No bodies were found and no wreckage was ever found.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But, here's the thing too, though, with Alaska. It is so vast and very little populated. And I read here, and honestly, it's been within the last month. I heard somewhere within the last month, that moose is the number one killer of people in Alaska, even more so than bears.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So how many of these people are walking along a trail and they come upon a moose? And what made me remember that was here. Joe DePop says, I seen an Alaskan moose at 15 feet in 1984. I thought I was a dead man.
Wow.
Yeah. So who would have thought?
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how close were you, Joe, to this moose?
That's 15 feet.
15 feet.
15 feet, he said.
Oh, I thought the
That's
moose
pretty
was
close.
Holy cow, yeah. Yeah, that's that would be pretty big for a moose, but wow.
Yeah. So how many of those people, I think too, and I actually, it was Small Town Monsters. I believe they did something recently on this, and they were talking about like there was somebody who was walking along one of the trails just hiking, and a bear got them, and it just like 10 feet off of the trail, the bear was eating on this person, and when rescuers came in, they didn't even see it because they didn't get off the beaten trail. They didn't even see it. It's like 10 feet away, and there's a body there.
Yeah.
Because it's so thick, and
Yeah, and then if it snows, nobody sees them, and they don't they stop the rescue, and you get snow or an avalanche.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's ever going to find it.
No. So those are things that just that are normal things that people go missing or die from. And then as you said, you mentioned the Kushtaka, or there's there's dogmen up there, there's Bigfoot, there's all kinds of things up there too.
And Lord knows, I mean, you see a Bigfoot up there, or even like you said, dogman. I mean, they'll take you in one of the caves that no one probably knows about, and you're never coming out of that.
No. So I'm saying
it's
yeah.
One of the most famous instances about alien encounters in Alaska was Japanese Boeing 747 flight 1628. They were going, I'm assuming they were going across Canada towards Asia over there. And another thing, you have, let's bring up this map again. You have Russia so close to us there. You wonder if, I'm sure there's bases on both United States and Russia right there. I wonder if, because you hear about UFOs going around nuclear sites and stuff. I wonder if with those bases so close together, I wonder if UFOs would, possibly pop in and, be attracted to those two sites more.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know.
Interesting. Anyway, it was a Japanese Boeing 747 cargo aircraft. It was flying across Alaska when it encountered strange lights flying around it. I mean, we all know that alien spacecraft, they don't move like traditional spacecraft. They were behind them, the lights were behind them, and all of a sudden they would move in front of them, they would kind of dance around and stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. The next thing they know, they see this huge triangle-shaped object. This really isn't a good drawing of it. The object was a lot bigger than what this is showing.
Wow.
The pilot of the airplane drew what he saw.
Oh, wow. It looks like
that's
a pond.
The object. And that's for scale, I guess that's the size of the plane.
Whoa. Okay.
Looks like a gigantic pod.
Yeah.
And this was like a Japanese airline pilot who drew this?
Yep. This guy, I need to get
Wow.
this guy right there. That's his drawing.
And when was this?
This was
72?
in 1986, November 17th, 1986. Now,
Oh,
I'm going to keep that image up. I want to show you guys something, and I need to find this. Um, so I don't know if you guys, and I just now realized this. I don't know if you guys watch Skinwalker Ranch.
mhm.
No, I don't.
Okay. So one of the last, I guess it was 2 seasons ago, maybe, they saw this object on their property, and I'm trying to find it. They made a drawing of it, and it looks very similar to this. It's round,
Oh.
and it has kind of the belt going around it, but not
Mhm.
as big as this. So,
Wow.
I'm kind of wondering if this is something common.
Right? Did they say they said it wasn't as big as this?
No, the one on Skinwalker Ranch wasn't nearly as big as that.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it was just a little blip on the field,
Mm-hmm.
and it showed up, and it was very similar to, it had what looked like the belt going around it, for lack
Right.
of a better term.
Hmm.
And on the top, on the poles, would be like almost like windows or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at that just now, and I'm like, well, that's kind of odd.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure.
So
And I know Alaska does have a lot of the UFO sightings too.
I think there would be more UFOs there since it's so remote. I mean, if I were an alien, I'd park my stuff out in Alaska. That's where I'd want to be.
Yeah.
Cryptids will probably congregate there because they don't want to be around so many humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Actually, I originally thought that the Alaska Triangle was in the ocean, like the Bermuda Triangle. But so when I saw the map, I was like, oh, that's all landlocked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
And-
just people who go missing just in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah.
He said it was 500 to 2,000 a year.
Uh-huh. In any given year, it could be anywhere between 500 and 2,000
Damn, that's
people
a
a
lot.
year.
That's crazy.
And I've heard different numbers since 1970. 16,000 people have vanished. I've heard since sometime in the 60s it was over 20,000, like 22,000 people have vanished.
Dang.
But still, either way, that's
But
just
you got to think though too, like it is so vast
mhm.
and not very heavily populated, and there are so many things there that will kill you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I could see where that could be
Mhm.
legit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because you got to think by the time somebody would even realize you're gone or to get to you to where you are, you're probably a goner anyway. Because it's so remote. So it would take help a long time to even get to you.
Yeah. If it even gets to you,
Right. Right.
That Japanese pilot's name was Kenji Terasuchi or something like that. KenjiTerauchi. I'm assuming it's Terasuchi. And the very interesting thing is he was talking with the air traffic controllers at Anchorage.
Mhm.
I believe this happened further north in Alaska, but he was in communications with the Anchorage control tower.
Yeah.
They had this whole situation on radar. So it showed
Wow.
the Japanese aircraft, and it showed the 2 blips, and then it showed the one huge aircraft.
Mhm.
They even radioed one of the Air Force bases in there and they actually asked the pilot if he wanted to have fighter jets mobilized to go and check the situation out, and he said no. Actually, he said negative.
Wow.
Probably because if these fighter jets show up, you don't know what this aircraft would do, if they would take it as a sign of hostility.
Right.
And so, I mean, that could have saved everything. And of course,
Mhm.
once the Japanese aircraft landed in Anchorage, I believe. Of course, all kinds of agencies were on the scene, and everything is now locked up, top secret.
Right.
Nothing has come out of
Yeah.
it.
Crazy.
But yeah, there's a show on I think it's on Hulu or Netflix.
Mhm.
It's called the Alaskan Triangle, and it's
Mhm.
really I've seen a couple episodes,
Yeah.
and it's pretty interesting.
So looking on a map, the Alaskan Triangle looks like it's like a little bit less. Is it a little bit less than half the entire space of Alaska around,
And
roughly, give or take, maybe like less than half.
yeah, and it looks like it goes a little bit into Canada too on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I read that Alaska itself is twice the size of Texas, so that's a lot of landmass.
With
Yeah.
far fewer population too.
Yeah,
Right.
way less population.
Yeah.
Man, that would be could you imagine going there, guys, investigating, getting I mean, you're in the middle of literally nowhere. Like if something goes wrong,
Yeah.
the nearest help is going to be what? Hundreds if not thousands of miles
Yep.
away?
Mhm.
Far.
I would love to go there. I don't know about investigating or anything. I know my wife and I want to do a cruise there sometime, but I mean it just looks beautiful out there.
Yeah. Just the
And-
landscape alone is just,
Yeah.
phenomenal. It really is.
And I've always heard that, if you really want to see how gorgeous Alaska is, you need to go take a train ride through the interior of it. And now I'm thinking,
Wow.
I don't know that I want to do that.
If it's twice the size of Texas, that sounds like it's going to be a real long train ride.
It's a long ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You
true.
better get a real comfortable train. You better get one of those like, first class cars where they have like whole beds for you and stuff, and
Right.
which would be cool.
Yeah.
But geez, when you just look at the size of the place, you're like twice the size of Texas, and everyone in Texas is constantly talking about, oh, our state's so big. It takes so long. Remember, Tex and Jason are always like, it takes this long to drive from east to west.
Well, it does take a long time, though. I can
Yeah, but
understand
to think that Alaska is twice that size.
I know that's crazy. I'd love to go to
know.
Alaska too, though. I agree with you. Like the landscape is just
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I bet you there's so much cryptid activity there. I bet you that's where they all congregate. Seriously,
Could be.
right? I think they migrate. I think they try to move away when the area gets developed. So naturally, they're going to be driven north.
hmm
And you heard about the Portlock,
Yep. I was
Incident,
just
right?
thinking that. Yeah.
right? I'm sure people here listening at home are familiar with the Portlock.
Mhm.
I don't know, Paul, if that falls within the Alaskan Triangle.
I'm not sure
I mean,
where
it's
that's
got to be
at.
close.
Let's Google.
The town of Portlock, I think it's like in the southern part. I mean, it's on the coast because. Thank you, AI, for Portlock, Alaska. There we go. I mean, I'm looking at it up on a map right now.
I'm looking too, seeing if it's part of that triangle.
No, it's not. It's actually the bottom peninsula.
Gotcha.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah,
can you put up that can you put up that map again?
Yep.
So. Yeah, no, it's outside. It's outside the triangle,
Yeah.
but still, I mean,
It looks
who
like
knows if that's even the triangle? Who knows it's not just all of Alaska? That's just a hotbed because it is so remote,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised. I
right?
mean, a lot of the maps that you see have a lot bigger triangle there. But
So-
I mean, if they say from Anchorage to Juneau, I mean that's not going to change much on different maps.
So
Right.
for a short time, I got obsessed with Barrow, Alaska, because they say that's like the northernmost city
Mm-hmm.
in the U.S., which is like right above the Arctic. Right above like
In the Arctic Circle.
yeah, it's like the northernmost like settlement
hmm
in the continental United States, right? And if you see that place, I mean, it's so remote, and it looks over the water, and you look over that water, and you're like, over that water is literally the North Pole,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
it's the prices there are so crazy. It's like $20 for a roll of toilet paper or something, just because everything's so hard to get because everything has to be flown in.
And that was
Well,
before
yeah.
COVID. After COVID, it's probably like 40.
Yeah,
bucks.
it's crazy.
Couldn't imagine.
Yeah, it's a different name now. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. It's Utquiagvik.
Hmm.
Not even gonna try that one. Say
Wow.
Bardo, or whatever it is. But
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah, don't they? I think they play. I might be in Anchorage. They have a baseball game that goes for like 3 or 4 days, and I mean it never gets light. I mean, it never
Really?
gets dark. Yeah,
Oh, well, I
yeah,
can see that because of the
yeah,
times.
Yeah, because of
yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
But they actually have a game that goes on and on for a few
Just get
days.
new players each time.
I think so. Yeah, I
Wow.
think you almost have to. I mean,
I mean, because
playing
I guess the players would have to sleep at some point, get
yeah
something to eat, go to the bathroom.
24 hour game
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
That's a very interesting. I'm a big baseball fan, but I saw that one time. That'd be
Crazy.
pretty interesting. But
Yeah.
how would you guys handle it if there was like you went a month without seeing the sun?
I knew a guy. He was my college friend. He actually was. I think he went to like Denmark or Norway or one of those countries for like a business trip back like a while ago. And he said he went into summertime when it was because in those very northern countries you get that one like really long period of night, but then in the summertime you get the same thing inversely as a really long period of day. He went into summertime where it was like still sunny at like 2 a.m,
Right.
and he said, dude, it was almost driving him insane.
Wow.
Like it's so weird to be
Yeah.
up at 2 a.m and the sun is still out. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't realize how much havoc it causes in your internal like your biological clock.
Mm-hmm.
So to have like that, but night, he was like, I couldn't even imagine what that would be like. That would just be so just dark and miserable, and because he was miserable when it was constantly sunny. Most people think, oh, it's sunny all the time, like in the summertime, right? When the days get longer, you're like, oh wow, the day's longer, there's more sun. But when you got like 23 hours of sun
Mm-hmm.
every
Yeah.
day, it starts to drive you crazy.
I don't know that I could sleep.
No,
No.
it messes you unless you have
Mhm.
darkened windows.
Yeah.
Right. Blackout
Really thick,
curtains.
yeah,
And,
blackout curtains. I don't think there's any way that you
I'm
could.
pretty sure that's what people there do, right?
I would
I
assume.
would
would have to.
imagine. I would
You would have
imagine.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that would probably be the only time that I would actually not mind working an overnight shift.
He said at first he was looking forward to it. He thought it was very novel and cool, but about 3 days in, he was like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
Yep. Barry mentions no indoor plumbing in Alaska. I know there's a lot of off the grid, houses and things like that. So
Yeah, I think
Really?
I mean my theory is that I think the cryptids in Alaska get crazier because when I look into the Portlock story about that whole town got driven out by essentially
Yeah.
just really big and really aggressive Bigfoot, like Bigfoot
Yep.
on steroids, essentially.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, they don't make Bigfoot like that over here. No, that's a different kind of those Bigfoots there, they eat their Wheaties.
Yeah. They eat their Wheaties. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Plus other things.
Yeah, probably the missing people. What
Mm-hmm.
was I gonna say?
I
Oh,
don't.
so the daylight thing, how that messes with people. Imagine what that does with animals, with cryptids too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
on like solar eclipses and stuff, you hear
Right.
crickets come out and birds stop chirping or whatever.
Right.
Imagine what that would do to all that, the wildlife, and I would think like
And they
Bigfoot would
say
go
like
nuts.
mosquitoes are awful in Alaska.
They say the mosquitoes are like little pterodactyls. It's
Yeah.
the craziest mosquitoes you'll ever see, and the most
Yeah.
aggressive and the biggest.
Yeah. Which is weird to me because it gets so cold and
Yeah, you would think that they
No,
would.
that's why they're so aggressive, because when it's the summertime and when the weather is conducive for them to be out, they're extra aggressive because their time is more limited. So they got to really go for it,
Wow.
I only have a few days. I got to get this done.
Yeah, I gotta.
Got to
Yeah,
annoy as many people.
we
as
gotta
I
live
can.
it up. We gotta live it up.
Yeah. Well, look here. Like, be kind, she says. I'm trying to put that up. My friends in Alaska, remote small villages, use the back of their trucks as a freezer. In the winter, they don't shut off the engine to prevent the engine from freezing. Could you imagine that? Just never like shutting off
You
your
can't. You're
vehicle?
not
Gas
allowed. You
prices.
can't turn off your car. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy cow!
Otherwise, your car is dead. Jeez.
Wow.
I mean, you wouldn't
yeah.
really have to worry about your beer getting cold or warm.
No.
Just throw it
It'd be
outside.
frozen. You couldn't drink it.
Yeah. Beer popsicle.
So if mosquito get that crazy, can you imagine how like Bigfoot gets or Dogman gets?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard this one story, one incident in the Portlock story where they found a guy had been killed by, I think what it was, the equipment that it was a wood chipper. But you would imagine like the guy would have been, if you imagine killed by a wood chipper, you imagine someone going into the wood chipper. No, the wood chipper itself was like picked up and thrown at him and the guy was crushed.
Holy smokes.
So I'm like, what would do that?
Wow.
I know only.
Nothing
Yeah.
that, not a man.
Yeah, that was like, I'm listening to the story and seeing how old the entire town gets driven out, either go missing, go driven out. They find like body parts washing up on the stream, and I'm like, this is probably the crazy. This will go down as the craziest Bigfoot story.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there is.
Yeah.
I mean, these Bigfoot were like, I've had it with these people eating up on my salmon. We're just going to wipe out this entire town.
Would you guys go to Portlock?
I would.
Yeah.
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 Not unarmed, though.
Yeah. Oh, no. You have to be armed.
Oh, no.
Sure.
No, I'm going in there with like, Jesse Ventura and the Predator, that chain gun.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
There you
With the
go.
backpack and the belt of ammo. I mean, that's the only way I would go to Portlock. I mean, you would have to be that I would have to be that armed to be convinced to go there. With the story that I heard, I don't know if it was a wood chipper. It was something like that size. It was like some kind of construction equipment. But I mean, when I think of something that size, I'm not going to think of like an earth mover, but something like that, right? Like the size of a wood chipper, and it was just thrown at the dude. Like what?
Wow.
What would throw something like that?
Exactly.
I mean, only thing big enough that I could think of are.
And actually, I think there were wood chippers back in the 30s. Actually, I think there were. They don't seem like very complicated technology. It's just a motor and some cylinders and teeth.
Yeah.
Henry wouldn't go to Portlock. Many guns and ammo, grenades, at least a case.
I would go. I would definitely go. I would. I agree, though. I'd have to have some,
Protection.
I would have to take somebody because I don't have a gun or anything. So I have to get somebody.
Or like some big dogs.
Not even dogs.
No.
Guns.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I would have to be armed to the teeth to go there, though. Like
And
after
then-
hearing that story,
Yeah. Would you camp there? Like,
No.
it's one thing to go and walk through and observe during the day, but what about at night?
Only if I had a Bigfoot as a bodyguard. Like I brought a Bigfoot from like the continental U.S., like from Texas or Alabama. An Alabama Bigfoot comes along with me just to be my protection against the Portlock Bigfoots.
Yeah.
And that Alabama Bigfoot's like, yeah, I'm a little nervous right now, guys.
Yeah. Joe to Pop says to go there, you need tribal approval. I've heard
Oh,
that.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
To go to Portlock? Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Man, they got some weird cryptid stories up there. I heard this other one where it was like some like, I think it was like an Inuit settlement where they were talking about how this like woman would come out from the water and would like be snatching up people's children and people go missing. And it was just this weird monstrous looking like, and I'm like, man, I would imagine if there was some freaky cryptids, they would be congregating there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if you really want to see the crazy stuff, that's probably the place to actually explore.
But then again, it's so vast.
Yeah,
and
I think
very
that's why.
populated.
Vast
So,
and not populated. Yeah.
so there's probably a lot of cryptid creatures up there, but they're just not as well known. You know what I'm saying? Or they
Yeah.
don't support them because like there's not a lot of people to see them. So I do believe that there would be a lot of them there, though.
So I see Greg Ogles is in chat.
Hey, Greg.
And of course, he has his film coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if, and Greg, feel free to answer this. I wonder if he would go to Alaska to film a Bigfoot.
I bet he would.
Oh, he would. He would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us would for the.
I agree.
That's because that's kind of the whatchamacallit. Not I want to say the
heartbeat,
Mecca, but if cryptids are real, we know that, and if they're distributed all over the place, and we know there's like some that are crazier than others, I'm pretty sure a lot of us can confidently say the craziest ones are going to be in Alaska.
Yeah, and he says in a heartbeat, so he would go.
Yeah.
I knew he would.
If you go, let me know. I'll go with you.
Okay.
And let's go to Alaska.
You know what I'd like to see as a for Bigfoot research, actually, there's Bigfoot stories that come out of most states, right? And if I wish someone would just compile just in a database, in all the encounters, how tall were the Bigfoots? Because I hear some encounters that say Bigfoot was like 6'10". Others say that he was like 7.5 feet. Others are 9 feet. Then the others go as high as like 10, 12 feet, right? Mm-hmm. And they said that the Portlock Bigfoots were like ridiculous, like 15, so something crazy, right? Like big even for a Bigfoot. And I wish someone would just chart like the average heights in all the Bigfoot encounters by state, just to see if there's different breeds or different types, right? Like our Bigfoot that are encountered in Texas and Kentucky, are they on average in the story 7 feet? And then you go to Canada, you go to Alaska, and are they on average like 11 to 12 feet? Like, I'd like to see that data.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they say even like deer, just our regular deer population, they're smaller in the southern states, and the further north you go, the bigger they are. So I could see that.
I wish, that's, I feel like that could be done, Like, I remember Brandy was telling her story about when she saw Bigfoot, and she described it as like 6 something.
Yeah. And, I think the one that we encountered there was, I think it was a juvenile.
Yeah, I would say 6 foot would be I've never seen one, but it sounds like a 6 foot one would be a juvenile one.
If I ever saw a 6 foot Bigfoot, I would be like, yo, I think I could take it.
I don't know. I got to tell you, I saw the shadow of it, and it was pretty big. I don't know that you'd think that.
What if there was like out there like a short Bigfoot, like a 4 foot, but not like so short, but maybe like a 5'6" Bigfoot. It was only like 5'6", and you're like, oh, that's like my height. I think I could take him.
I wonder what a baby Bigfoot weighs in that.
I don't know.
Oh. It's time.
Donnie Cho, meme of the week.
Okay, guys, it's meme of the week, and then we'll go back to talking about Alaska. But this little meme is a little darling that I came up with. It's that famous, you guys know this photo, right? That famous photo, it was in England, of the something man. I don't remember the name. But the title of this meme is called That Bowl Cut. And the alien dude in the background, he's like looking at the girl. He's like, bowl cuts? What kind of stupid planet did I land on? And then the subcaption is, that bowl cut, the second most shocking thing in this photo.
Yeah.
The second most shocking thing. That bowl cut is ridiculous, though. Look at that thing.
I agree.
And that alien's just like, what the hell kind of stupid haircut planet did I land on?
I thought that was a boy, not a girl.
No, it was a girl. Yeah, I remember that.
Looks like a boy.
Looks like a boy to me.
It looks like a pretty extreme bowl cut, though. I guess that was how they cut kids' hairs back then in the 60s. And I don't know.
I wasn't born in the 60s. That I can say.
Well, I had a bowl cut at one point, though, so who am I to judge?
I don't think I ever had one. I had a mullet all through high school.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
crazy.
Back when mullets were cool.
Hmm.
Actually, I was at the high school football game last week, and there was a kid, had to have been middle school. He was rocking a mullet. I mean,
Yeah,
that
it's
was,
not coming back.
I think they're coming back.
really.
Yeah.
I think they're coming back.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
I
might
know.
have to grow mine back.
Before you know it, then tails will be coming back too.
Mm-hmm. Bell bottoms are back.
Yeah.
They've been back for a while.
Yep. Okay, then.
No, mullets are coming back though. Like people are. I have a guy at my job who just decided one day that he's going to grow a mullet.
Really?
I'm like, really? That's a bold choice, my friend.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to do it. Like we sat there long and hard talking about it. I'm like, are you sure this is the choice you want to make in your life?
Mhm.
To be that guy with the mullet? And he's like, I'm going to do it, Donnie Cho. I'm going to do it.
Crazy. That's
And
crazy.
he did it.
Really?
Yeah.
How? I mean, when was this conversation, and how long is the mullet?
This
now?
was like last year outside my work in my company. But I'm like, but we work for a corporation, dude. And as his mullet would come in bigger and bigger, he'd walk into the office, everyone would peek out from their cubicles, and I'm like, they'd be like, yeah, that's quite the mullet there.
Wow.
I mean, this is corporate America.
I mean, really, if you put it in a ponytail, you wouldn't
We're
even know.
yeah, we're business casual.
Wow.
Wow. Interesting.
He's a brave man. I respect him.
Yeah, I let my hair grow like 2.5 years, and it got pretty long.
Hmm.
I'm going back to that, I think.
I'm thinking about growing a mullet. I think it would be cool.
I don't know if I'm going to go the mullet route, but anyway, I got one more thing on Alaska. Hang on. And it is, have you guys ever heard of the giant thunderbird? Not the car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, appearing as a giant bird capable of, well, this isn't shooting lights from its eye. That's not right. Well, I guess it is. So this thing,
Dang.
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen that.
That's a big bird. It's taken moose. It's taken bears, just with its claws. Again, up in Alaska.
Wow.
So I guess it's not just people that go missing. It's, moose and
Mhm.
bears too. That looks more like a pterodactyl.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Get some. I didn't get information on this,
Mm-hmm.
which I should have. I apologize. Oop, wrong one. It's still wrong one. But it's been seen in Alaska recently, not too terribly far off, as in like the last 20 years maybe. It's been spotted flying around. I mean, even as low as like 20 feet off the ground. But I remember it saying that it picks up moose very, very easily.
Wow.
Other big wildlife very, very easily. But I mean, we don't know where this come from or what. But and a lot of, I guess this is also Indians
Right.
had these on their totem poles.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
I guess they had like this on the top, and maybe down below there was like a Bigfoot head or something on totem poles. Because I know they've had Bigfoot on totem poles.
Cool. Very cool.
Are there any dogman stories coming out of Alaska? That's the one thing I never heard of.
I'm sure there are, but I have not found any.
There are, according to the NADP, if I remember correctly, dogmen have been in all 50 states except for Hawaii.
Hmm.
Same thing with Bigfoot. They haven't been to Hawaii.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Shane Michael Chris told
That's
me.
not to say Hawaii doesn't have its own activity, because
Yeah.
I know some encounter stories in Hawaii. It's got its stuff. It's got its stuff.
Yeah.
And now after that big fire in Lahaina, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's amped stuff up too out there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I do want to go to Alaska though.
But you don't fly.
No, I don't. But I
No,
could
but
go.
there are all these cruises that go there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many boat trips that go there.
Yeah.
Seriously,
but-
for me to fly, like I've flown several times before, and
Mhm.
like I was younger. I was a teenager the last time I did it, but you guys will really have to get me drunk. Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, really, all you have to do is get up. I mean, even go up to Seattle. That's where a lot of the cruises
Hmm.
leave.
Yeah.
But I could make a 2-day trip driving to
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah.
I definitely think Alaska is one of those dream destinations for like cryptid
Mhm.
hunting and investigating
Yeah.
and just the fact that it's so
Yeah.
remote. There's something very compelling about that. Just the
Mhm.
idea that, no matter where we go here, there's always going to be a city nearby or a town nearby, but
Mhm.
to actually go to a place
Sure.
where there's literally no people.
Yeah.
Talk about buddy system.
Yeah.
Couple
Really,
buddies.
like,
Yeah.
you got to go with a tight knit group of people who you trust with your life,
Yeah.
essentially.
Where says
Yeah.
there's a pill for that, meaning flying. Maybe Xanax or something. I don't know. I just don't fly.
Dogmen are about the size of a horse,
Wow.
Jason said. Is that up in Alaska?
Big dogmen, if they're the ones in Alaska. I haven't heard of them being that big.
I've heard of bigger ones. I mean, they vary in size.
Hmm.
So the Iditarod, I wonder if they would have dogmen pulling that. That would probably win easy.
They'd probably win easy. Make
Yeah,
chicken
I think
right?
I think just the animals there are just bigger anyway.
Mhm.
Like Kodiak bears are just freaking huge. You got like
Right.
caribou and moose, which are basically just really giant deer.
Yeah.
Even the wolves there, I guess, get bigger. Like
Mhm.
everything just gets bigger over there.
Hmm.
So everything's bigger in Texas, but everything's
Yeah.
giant in
So
Alaska.
I mean, I could imagine the Bigfoot there being bigger as well, especially if
Wow.
there's more for them to eat.
Hmm.
P. Jean said one of my daughters said she saw her and her friend said a big as a cow. What did they see?
Wow. I think a dogman.
Oh, wow,
That's big dogman.
yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess, I mean, they got to grow up. There's young ones, there's adult ones, there's whatever.
and you hear about, I guess, dogs growing fur for the climate that they're in and stuff. I would assume that Bigfoot and Dogman and whatever would grow to protect themselves from the climate in Alaska too.
They would
Yeah.
have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Scary stuff. But then again, you can go right out your back door too and come across the dog man. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah.
Hmm. Who knows? I know, like, we were talking about size wise and stuff. So the one that actually Brandy actually saw it. I just seen the outline, the shadow of it. But she said was about six feet tall. And they were saying that, it was a juvenile. However, they think there was another one in the woods, like kind of directing it or watching out for it or whatever.
Mhm.
But around my tent, 14-inch impressions were found.
Was this the encounter where it had stormed that night?
Yep, it was
Real
just
bad,
last
yeah.
year. It was a year ago, actually. It was a year
Wow.
ago. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, it was crazy.
And
Crazy.
you talked about, I mean, you mentioned just mentioned that they were kind of working together.
Hmm.
I mean, if anybody caught BMR last night, Ernie Davio's encounter, it sounded like they were kind of working with each other.
Hmm.
Huh.
Martin Groves, his encounter at the LBO was Bigfoot and Dogman.
working together.
After
No,
him.
well,
Well, they were
yeah.
after him. So what?
Not so much. I wouldn't say working. Well, I guess in a way they were.
Maybe.
I mean, he didn't see them like side by side or nothing, but you could
Right.
definitely tell they were kind of in tandem in a way.
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know.
I guess they have one common goal: is see food.
But then I don't know. Do you hear stories about Bigfoot and Dogman fighting each other, or not liking each other, or not being cool with each other?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Gary says we found a 24-inch track at the LBL. That's a big track.
Wow.
What about it? Have you ever heard, like, are there any other stories that you've heard of Bigfoot and Dogman being encountered in the same story or at the same time?
Just Martin Groves
I
for
have
me. His is the only encounter I've heard.
I've heard a couple stories, but those were like, random people calling into a show kind of late at night, those kinds of shows.
Yeah.
And according to some of those stories, I've heard stories where it's Bigfoot and Dogman in the same story, and apparently they kind of give each other a wide berth.
Yeah.
But then in a couple other stories I heard, it seems like they're kind of not in cahoots, but they're at least have an agreement where you don't hear too many stories of someone coming across a Bigfoot and a Dogman fighting each other.
Right.
At least none of the ones I've come across.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't it? Did I hear right in the LBL that the Dogman there and the Bigfoot are kind of separate? They don't share the
That's
same
not
land.
true.
Or,
That
Huh?
is not true. That is
Okay.
not true. There's been Bigfoot sightings in the north and dogmen in the south, both. That's not true.
Okay. So
Or
they
maybe they're just migrating all the time, so they don't really even have a particular set patch of land.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that there's accounts of both on both north and the south, southern part of it. So,
interesting.
yep, we'll be there in a few weeks.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Although,
hmm
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the LBL is probably like within the continental United States or or within the 48.
Mhm.
I think it's probably one of the primest cryptid hunting spots there is, other than Alaska, right? You'd say?
I mean, I think there's a lot of places out there, not just the LBL, though.
Yeah.
That are good prime, cryptid hunting grounds. I mean, look at Tex. He goes to Brown Springs. He's had,
Yeah.
we have the Ozark Mountains here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there's sightings. I mean, they're all over.
I would think up in Washington State too. Would
Yeah.
be a good
Mhm.
location.
Yeah, I think they're everywhere. Honestly, I think you can go to any national forest and, you can find a Bigfoot or a dogman or something else.
You think they're I don't, for lack of a better term, different variety Bigfoot in different locations?
Well, the Portlock story was the first story that got me wondering that, actually. Like,
Yeah.
maybe there are different, like, sub-breeds of Bigfoot where Bigfoot in one state would only get from, like, 6'10" to 7 to 8 feet, whereas Bigfoot in another state would go from, like, 9 to 11 feet.
Mhm.
And then once you go to Alaska, they're, like, 12-plus feet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. That was the Portlock story was actually the first story that got me wondering that, because
Mhm.
the description of the Bigfoot in those stories were just something like way bigger than anything that I've heard within the
Right.
48. Like, I've heard Bigfoot stories from people in like Texas and the LBL and stuff, but and Pacific Northwest, but 12 feet, that's a little ridiculous. But apparently that's how that big they got over there. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the story that got me wondering that very question. Like, are there different sub breeds or groups, or are certain Bigfoot bigger over here than over there?
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't imagine walking up on a 12-foot Bigfoot. Damn.
12 foot. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about, there's a couple things here. Moon and Dune says, I'm
Yeah.
in Baltimore City and I got tracks. So it's interesting.
I mean,
And then Prospecting says, check with the bison and elk farm, see if they have anything missing. Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, after 12 feet, you're like, that's not Bigfoot, that's King Kong.
yeah.
Literally, like once it gets to that big, it might as well be at that point.
Yeah. It's
It
crazy.
could literally pick me up with like one hand, just be like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. I just can't get over the 12 foot. Jeez.
I couldn't
I've heard
imagine.
stories. I've heard stories, yeah.
Imagine, you know, I couldn't imagine. Greg Ogle said that his neighbor seen a werewolf
In Alabama.
in Alabama. There's been a dogman sighting in St. Louis right by the Arch. And if anybody's ever been to St. Louis, that's very heavy populated,
By the Arch?
hmm Downtown by the Arch. You
Holy.
haven't heard that yet, Paul?
A dog man?
Yeah.
I
What are
have
you
not
doing?
heard that.
True story.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
He was in the city proper then.
hmm
Wow. I mean, he was right smack downtown.
Right downtown
Wow.
by the Arch.
Jeez.
And it's, like I said, it's very heavy populated. There's a lot of nightclubs down there and,
Yeah.
Things like that. So
When was this?
I'm not really too sure exactly when it was.
I mean, now, there's really nothing much going on at night, at least on the riverfront, right under the Arch
Yeah.
on the river.
Yeah.
They used to have a casino, the Admiral there, and a
Yep.
couple other little boats there that are ships.
Right.
But I live pretty close to a place called Cliff Cave Park,
Mhm.
and that's right off the Mississippi. And there's been Bigfoot sightings there.
Yeah.
That's what, maybe less than 10 miles, 5-10 miles from here.
So how far are you from the Merrimack River? Because there's sightings around
I-
there too.
Almost see it from my window here.
Well, there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
You're that
Yeah.
close?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I live in South St. Louis in a little town called
Mhm.
Oakville. And so looking out my window here, I could see the next town over is Arnold.
Mhm.
And in between us and Arnold is the Merrimack River.
Yeah.
And that's less than a half mile from our
Mhm.
house.
Yeah. You guys want to plug your channels? Danita says, apologize if you already said, but do these guests have their own channels? You guys want to plug your shows real quick?
Go, Danny.
My show is Donnie Cho Says Stuff. It is on Saturdays, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And I don't know, what can I say about my show? It's
Not for children.
Not for
it's
children.
not for children, but it is a good time.
It
Yes.
is a good time. It is
Yep.
a good time.
Yep.
I just, the one time I was on there, I loved dropping the F-bomb. That was fun.
Yeah.
Just
It's
'cause we did it,
refreshing.
right?
It's
Yeah.
cathartic.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. And Paranormal Among Us on Saturday nights, 7 o'clock Central. Krista's my co-host on there.
Mhm.
Although for the next month she's going to be away from me.
Oh, got lost up.
And then I also have a Tuesday afternoon show at 1 that I didn't do yesterday, but because I had to work and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday morning we have me and Tex doing Waking Up Weird, and then of course tonight we have Paranormal Show and Tell.
Bunch of
So tune
shows.
in. Yeah, all over the place.
So many shows. So many.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, can I just clear one thing up with people real quick, by the way?
Sure.
Even though there's a lot of like profanity on my show, I actually don't use that much profanity in my regular life because,
He
I work
really
in
doesn't.
corporate.
I can attest. I've met
Yeah.
Donnie several times in person. Yes.
Yeah, I work. The thing is, I work in corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
So, 9 to 5, I'm like having to speak all professionally all day. So it's refreshing to just turn on the camera and just drop like
The F-bomb.
nonstop profanity. Just get it out of my system. Show ends, and I'm just back to myself. So yeah, even though there's a lot of profanity on my show, I use it a lot less in my actual real life than the show would get people to think. So
Yeah.
The place I work at, we are so laid back. I complain to Krista about this all the time. I mean, anything goes. I mean, there's no real language barrier there. I mean, we all just, let it fly, whatever. No one cares. Except around customers. We don't do that around customers.
Yeah.
So,
and see my place that I work, like everybody knows, like sometimes I let stuff slip out, and I have to apologize sometimes because I'll say it the wrong thing to the wrong person sometimes, not meaning to. I'll just let it, just accidentally slip out and be like, oh shit, sorry.
my wife cusses like a sailor.
Yeah.
And when my son was like 2 years old, he let the F-bomb drop in the car. We looked at each other, and I looked at that's all you, honey. That's all you.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets the acting crazy and farting a lot from me, but the cussing is from my wife.
Yeah. I sometimes have a bad mouth, potty mouth. I do. I don't mean to, but I just, it just comes out. Yeah.
It kind of feels good every now and then just to let it go.
see, for me though, it's like at my job, I work in customer service. So a lot of times the people on the other line or on the other side of the line will be cussing at me.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not allowed to cuss. So I have to say everything all straight and professional. Plus everything is being recorded and everything.
Yep.
So for me, I haven't even. So I'm like kind of in the opposite position where
you have to.
Yeah.
I personally don't really deal with the public.
Yeah.
Every great once in a while, but yeah, so I can get away with it because we're supposed to like dress nice at my work and stuff. I don't because I don't really work with the public, So
I mean, I like it though. It keeps me sharp. So. I think it actually translates well into what I'm doing here with the podcasting.
Yeah.
It's like a good muscle to exercise,
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not monetized, you can get away with it. If you get
no, I mean that was the whole
frowns upon that.
Right. So. No, that was the whole point, right? If it was like I have to do this knowing that I'm not going to be monetized. Because this is what I actually want to do. Like I want to make the show like this. Right. And the only way I can do that is if I'm not monetized. So yeah.
So what are you going to do if you get up to monetization?
Well, I'm not going to monetize because that's going to be the counter to the very purpose by which I do the show in the first place.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So
if okay, yeah. You can always change the show to Donnie Cho still says stuff. And
you know what?
Over from
Mickey's got a good comment here. Well-behaved women rarely make history. Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides, like I'm not saying I don't have aspirations or anything or ambitions. It's just that I feel like the fruits of my ambitions would pay off in other ways, more long term down the road. So I feel like it's okay. I got a regular job. I'm okay. Plus, it's gross sometimes when like some of these other YouTubers who shall remain nameless are like, they make it. It's like such a gross money grab. It's like, will you guys give us money, please? Ugh. I'm like, that's gross. Just give us content. Just entertain us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop trying to nickel and dime your fans.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
We've all seen it. Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh show. So.
Yep.
Fun. You guys tune in to Blondes and Booze tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central. We have Heather Mosier with Small Town Monsters coming on.
Ooh,
that'll be an awesome one.
She's awesome. Yeah, we've had her on several times. She's a great person. She's knowledgeable in all aspects of the weirdness out there, So that'd be fun.
She's a fun listen. I enjoy those shows. I'll put those shows on and be playing video games and listening and I always have a good time with her.
Yeah,
it's great.
Did you want to plug your event real quick?
Oh yeah, we do have this event. You want to put it up? So yeah, October 26th. Tickets are on sale. I pinned the link at the top of the show. We have Paul and Greg Ogles will be there, and After Dark Paranormal and Blondes, and we're gonna just make a day of talking ghosts and cryptids, and then we're gonna ghost hunt. So
Look at how dashing Greg and Paul look in those photos.
I know they
Man.
look great, both of them, don't they?
Paul's got that winning smile. Greg's looking there all cool. Like, yeah,
Right?
I'm Greg.
Right? Exactly.
I'm the Bigfoot filmmaker. Look at him.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's
Yep,
he's all looking cool. Paul's got that big grin. He's like, yeah, he's such a nice
Mhm.
guy.
Got them fooled.
Yeah. Yep. And thank you, Alan. We appreciate your membership. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, so if anybody interested, come and hang out with us at the Ray County Museum. Place doesn't disappoint. It's active, and all in all, we'll just have a good time. So
Yeah.
Who's Neil Diamond?
Neil,
Just
Diamond-
kidding.
Oh,
Just
he's
kidding,
correct.
guys. I know him. I know who he is.
Correct.
That was a joke, guys. I
Jacob
was
is
just kidding.
correct. Yes.
People were about to be in an uproar. I'm just kidding, guys. I know who Neil Diamond is.
Oh, that's funny.
Did something happen? I just got a note on here. Chat disconnected.
It's looking good for me. It's still
I
going.
see chat.
I got it twice on mine. So chat disconnected.
I think that's your connection, dude.
My God, what's going on? I'm
That's
telling you,
right.
I'm filling in for Brandy here with the internet being wacky.
I think that corner of the screen is cursed. The
Might
top
be.
left corner. Yeah, that's the
Might
cursed
be.
corner.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It's all
How dare
good.
he?
Greg says, where'd everyone go? So maybe there's, and I don't know.
Mickey says I see it too. Huh.
Yeah, Amy says my chat keeps freezing, won't let me chat. Wow, so maybe it's not our internet.
No, Amy, we have you blocked.
No.
Well, you know what, guys? We have been getting some paranormal gremlins happening on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't
Usually
be the
with
first
Brandy
time.
or text, so and neither
Yeah.
one's here.
Yeah.
So oh, Greg says
Oh, Greg's messing with you.
yeah, I should have known that, Mr.
Yeah.
Moist.
I hate that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This was a fun show.
Yeah, it was.
Fun.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. So, well, thank you all for watching tonight. Sound Southern. Thank you all.
Yeah.
For watching tonight. Krista, thank you for jumping in and filling in for Brandy.
Of course.
And
yeah,
Randy.
you guys I know she'd appreciate it. Keep her and her family in your prayers. Her mom had surgery today. She's got a brother who's also in the hospital. So if you guys would just keep her whole family in your prayers, she'd definitely appreciate that.
She certainly has a rough time of it.
Yeah, she does. And she's, one person trying to take care of everybody. So
Yeah.
work and do shows. So she's
Yeah.
busy
Yeah.
gal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Hard to do, but
Mm-hmm.
whenever she's on, she never looks
Mm-mm.
tired. She always in a positive
Right.
mood and stuff.
Got her
so-
A game. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I was kind of going through that when my parents were both sick, and I'm an only child, and got to keep showing up.
Yeah.
doing whatever.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Absolutely.
but yep.
See, I'm the opposite. I have one bad day at work and I'm like, oh, screw it. My show's canceled for a month. I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to sit here and pout.
See, we won't do that because,
Yeah.
I've got even myself, I've got certain shows on that I like to watch that I know come on a
Oh,
certain
man.
night
One
and certain
time,
time. So I wouldn't do that to, our friends who are in chat and stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll
one
make
time,
sure
back when I had my Wednesday show, one time my boss got mad and yelled at me, and I was so flustered that I was like, I was actually canceling. I was thinking about canceling my show that night. I'm like, I'm so flustered. I can't do a show. No show.
But see, you can cuss on your show, so it
Yeah.
don't matter. So you could have went on there and
I was
said,
just so flustered. I was like, I don't even want to hit play.
But
I'm a
did you do
prima
the
donna
show?
sometimes. I think I eventually wound up doing it, but that was a big hurdle I had to get over, guys. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of willpower that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that show was definitely not for kids.
Right.
Probably not.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's funny. It's funny.
All right, guys. Chat disconnected again.
All right.
fun.
I think that's.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on this side, but I am seeing if everybody would hit the like. I see we have like 71 watching and or 71 in chat and 304 actually watching. So
Oh, wow.
everybody would hit the like. I'd appreciate it.
Wow.
Exercise those thumbs, people.
Yep.
Right.
We don't want no lazy thumbs sitting around
Smash
watching
it.
us. Yeah.
Boop it, caress it,
Yeah.
flick it, tickle it. Trying to think of
Let
other
me
things.
answer this one question real quick. Free Your Mind says, how can some people cuss on their shows, others get dinged? If you're monetized, you cannot cuss. You got to watch what you say, that kind of thing. If you're not monetized, it's free. It's fair game.
Yeah.
And it can't
And you
even
got to
be in
make sure
chat.
that your channel is rated not for children.
Yeah.
And you can't even have it in chat, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, all right.
All righty.
So yeah, let's boop.
I was just reading something. All right, guys. Have a great night, everybody. We appreciate you all. And there I go again, y'all. Appreciate everybody in chat. And as soon as I figure out how to get out of this,
Is there an outro? Do we just play the intro again? I think we played the intro again. I think we're supposed to play the intro again. I think that's what Brandy and Randy do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Let's do
Good
that.
night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody. See
All right.
y'all later.